Welcome back to the channel, guys. I want to try and progress my channel a little bit more through some of the problems that I get with some vehicles that I get in through the workshop. Now, this is only going to be a trial run. You can tell me if it's any good or not, so we'll see. But this one is actually a pretty good one that I come across. It took me a while to find the problem, but I got there in the end. Now, it's for a Renault Trafic 2015 plate. The 1.6 what's it, 9MR engine, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'll put it in the description. Now, the problem I discovered is that it came in as a non-runner, couldn't get it to go, and it was having a very, very weird problem. Now, when you code read it, it wouldn't communicate with the ECU, it would communicate with the body control, but there was all sorts of problems that didn't really make any much sense. So I had to keep digging, keep looking, and keep going with it, because that's what you have to do. So I was watching how the van would react to putting the key in the ignition and things like that. What I discovered was when you put the key in the ignition, you would turn it on and it would take a while for it to catch up. So I'll show you what it does now, because obviously it's repaired, which is quite normal for a normal operation of a van, or any car to that matter. As you can see, it catches up nice and quick. Now, that's obviously what it's meant to do on any vehicle. Now, what was happening before is you turn the key and nothing would happen for, say, 2 or 3 seconds, and then it would all come back on. So you would then have to wait about 25 minutes, 30 minutes before you could actually start the vehicle. But what you had to do was this. It took me about 3 hours to work out how to do it. So you had to turn it on, leave it on for 25 minutes, and turn it off and turn it back on again, and everything will caught back up and it will all go back into sync, and you can turn the car on. So obviously that's no good, you can't keep doing that all the time, so I had to find out what the problem was. So I didn't know what the problem was, obviously the owner didn't know what the problem was, and it came from another garage as well. They didn't know what the problem was. So I sent away the ECU, the BSI, the dash, and the key and everything to get tested. Turns out there was nothing wrong. So I kept looking and looking and looking, and I couldn't find it, and I had to keep talking to other people, because not a lot of people have worked on these cars before. Difficult for me to find anything. I had to go and back probe things and things like that, and it was very difficult to find it. Anyway, it turns out that they'd actually updated a relay. So I just said, I can't be that. And they said, yeah, we've updated it. He says, it's the one, what colour have you got in your one? And I mentioned the colour, and he said, okay, yeah, well, they've updated that colour now. I said, oh right, so they've updated the relay? They said, yeah. So I thought, okay, fair enough. Now, one of my colleagues has actually got a switchable relay that you can get from Mac Tools. So I got his relay, found the relay they were talking about, plugged it in, and I thought, this is never going to work. After I've obviously fixed all the wire and loom that was broken, fixed that, and then put the relay in, and yeah, worked straight away. Now, this could well be, I think that it had 2 secondary problems. Obviously it had a wiring fault and had a relay fault. Now, I don't know if the wiring fault damaged the relay, or the relay is actually has a problem anyway, because there was a different colour. So the original one was blue, the one I put in there was grey or yellow. So that tells me that this has been a problem for a while, potentially. I don't know. Renault, Peugeot, Citroens, things like that, they normally update things when they find things wrong. So anyway, if you ever come across these problems, the problems you'll see is that dash will act weird, and it will take a while for it to catch up, and also you may see lines in the digital display where your odometer is. So if you come across something like that, you may have the same problem, you may not, but that's what we were having, and it turned out to be a relay fault, but also this one had a wiring fault as well. I thought I would share my experiences with this one. This one took me a long time to discover it and you know, to fix it. So, but let me know in the comments if you feel that I should continue to tell you about these problems that I find. And yeah, and I'll try to continue to do them, because there are a lot of vehicles that I've come across where nobody else wants to deal with, and they say, oh, we don't know what it is. And you know, it takes me a while. I sit down and I try to focus on the vehicle and find the problem. Right, well, if you like what you saw, like what you heard, sorry, should I say, because it wasn't really doing very much, let me know, and I'll carry on doing this as a little side project, or I'll add it to the channel as another program to watch. Let me know. Thank you very much. Like, share.